Hello Aries, welcome back to my channel. This is Skeleton Key Tarot, and this is a tarot card reading for Aries. All Aries placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Wherever you've got Aries in your chart or in your life, there's something in this message for you. And as always, cross watchers are welcome here too. So let's begin. Aries, what's going on? We've got the Devil, we've got the Hierophant, and we've got the King of Cups. Who is this person? This water sign, this masculine water sign, somebody who may be older than you, but not necessarily. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. He's got a lot of empathy and energy, and he's a very understanding, stable person, possibly hardworking, dedicated to a very conventional approach to life. This person is very grounded and down to earth. This energy is emotionally sincere and responsible and devoted, masculine, spiritual, and sensitive. Could have some feminine, maternal-like qualities and energy about him. This could be somebody that you've known for a long time who may be even like a spiritual guide or teacher, or even if he's not like an actual like priest or something, he's a teacher or a guidance counselor, or like could even be a lawyer, like a confidant, somebody that you talk to about secrets that you keep because they are unconventional and taboo. You could have an addiction or an obsession or a fixation on a goal, like a very specific, narrow focused, ambitious, powerful, strong drive to succeed at something singular. I'm like narrow, like laser focused on this thing. And you could even be trapped in a very intense competition or relationship that requires a lot of tough, rugged, independent access or action is what I'm trying to say. Like climbing a mountain, like a mountain climber. Okay, you could be climbing that mountain, going through that challenge with a partner or by yourself. Either way, you're going to be working really hard to put one foot in front of the other, especially if it's like Mount Everest and it's really tall and you've got to walk up an incline or on all these rocks and the air gets thin and not a lot of people can make it up there. It's actually really dangerous, and some people never make it down alive, and it's really lonely at the top of the mountain when you are so singularly focused on material ambition, material gain. The inverted pentagram is like matter over spirit. Spirit is oppressed by matter or is like dominated by it. So concerns about money, health, and finance, and like hierarchy, stuff like that, climbing a corporate ladder, or just being really like tough at work and a hard worker dedicated to material enterprise, it can weigh down the spirit. Is that what I'm trying to say? It can make you feel limited, restricted, tied down. There's also restrictions and limitations to 3D reality, like space and time and physics work in a very specific, narrow way. You know, there's a lot of freedom within that structure to create your own reality and the conditions that you live in, but it's also very restrictive. So there's only so much you can do, and there are some steps you have to take to get from A to B, you know? Like you can't just snap your fingers and manifest out of a thin air. You know, the magician, does he pull a rabbit out of the hat Yes, but there's all sorts of preparation and planning and work that goes into pulling off the trick, and skill and like education and practice. Like building a house, you have to buy the materials and you have to do the labor, and it takes time, and there's restrictions on your budget and on your health, right? Like maybe you're not a professional construction worker, but you imagine yourself building your own house from the ground up, and you'd have to learn like as you go what you need, and you better have some skills to make it happen. So those skills have to be developed somewhere. Am I on a tangent right now? What am I talking about, Aries? Does this make any sense? Tell me in the comments, does this make sense? Okay, this reading, a narrow focus on a very specific goal, perhaps within a hierarchy, spiritually, emotionally connected to this partner that you are with on this. There's definitely a partnership on this journey, okay, I get two people who are working together, two people who are equals, and there's somebody above them in the background. Their boss, their mentor, their master, their teacher, the master, okay? Who exerts a certain level of control or influence in this situation. I do see that in the Devil card, the two people standing there, the chains are actually kind of loose around their neck. I'm just noticing that they have these chains around their neck, and it looks like they could actually really easily pull them off. Like they could get free really easily. So this sort of submission to a dark force, like submission to the driving creative force of Capricorn, the mountain, it's a choice. Submission is a choice. It's like a bird in a cage, but the cage door is open. The bird can leave. But there's some dedication here. This is somebody who's devoted. Maybe both people are devoted. But there's more to this story here than just the rant that I've been going on. How long have I been talking? 7 minutes? Okay, I could keep going. So, I just drew the 5 of Cups. This represents grieving, struggling with tragedy. And now I need to clarify. The Devil with the 3 of Pentacles. This is work. This is ambition. This is a collaboration. Again, with the symbolism here of the 2 people below, in the Devil and in the Hierophant. In the Hierophant, you've got the 2 kneeling at the altar, the 2 devotees, the 2 monks consulting the priest, the Pope. Yeah. And then you've got the 2 figures here consulting the one that's standing up on this table. They're approaching the altar, the table on which this worker is standing, with their ideas and their plans, and they're making suggestions about where to take this project and how to get it done and how to make it happen. And the 3 of these people respect each other's skills and authority. And this is symbolic of putting all of your energy to work towards your goal. This is Mars in Capricorn. Again, that very narrow-focused ambition within a structure, within a situation, getting really serious and driven. putting your mind, your body, and your heart and soul into this project. Feeling powerful as you dedicate your creative willpower to making this happen, but also feeling restricted and limited and somehow even kind of trapped. I get the sense that this is something that you want to do and you want to see it done. You want to see this enterprise, this ambition come to life. You want to see it bear fruit, but it's hard work. It takes a lot of energy. And there are times when you feel depleted. And I feel like that's when this Five of Cups, somebody may feel depleted, emotionally burnt out, dedicated to something, yet disappointed at the same time. Devoted in love. The Two of Cups, the Nine of Cups. The Four of Swords. I like where this is going, because it looks like somebody is hurting and feeling trapped by their obligations and their responsibilities. Somebody is a sensitive, spiritual, masculine, emotional, and somewhat even has like a maternal side, but is very practical and grounded and feeling weighed down by material obligations, maybe finances or whatever. Yeah, it's like financial obligations and this conventional lifestyle, the very clear difference between right and wrong, and the choice to do the right thing or the left thing, and the guidance given to the different sides, the different groups, the different choices. Like if you choose the left-hand path or the right-hand path, either way you come across a guide, or a spirit guide, or some kind of incarnate teacher. It will guide you down the chosen path. And it looks like okay. Totally devoted to this partnership. Again, here are these partners. It's like a marriage, or it's like they are exchanging vows, but I get the sense that it's not just a marriage vow. Intuitively channeling something like a vow of silence, or the type of vows that monks or initiates or students of occult mystery schools would take. Like a vow of secrecy. Or secret initiation rituals. Okay, so on the one hand, there's something that did not work out, and it's over, and it's tragic, and it did not meet your expectations for this marriage or commitment. This very spiritual person is in a lot of pain right now, emotionally. The Two of Cups and the Nine of Cups and the Four of Swords. If we take this reading from left to right, the disappointment and grieving from unmet expectations and the end of a situation that you wanted to work out but it didn't work out leads you to emotional maturity and wisdom and the knowledge of, I feel like the disillusioned knowledge of the perception of evil. This was a lesson learned. It's guiding you towards And after a time of rest and healing, after this stressful situation occurs and you accept and you allow yourself to process your emotions, your suffering, get some sleep, take care of yourself, give it a rest, take a break, put it down, lay down your sword, come to a conclusion, come to some kind of a middle ground even within yourself. Just decide how you think about it and just let it be. Accept it. Find like a compromise with the situation. Come to a ceasefire, an agreement, at least an agreement, agree to disagree. Or, you know, there's a win-win outcome, but you can put it to rest and just let it go and stop focusing on it, stop obsessing. You'll be so much happier and so much more satisfied with yourself when you're able to lay down that sword and the crusade is over. It's like you're not trying anymore. You're not obsessing anymore. In this Four of Swords energy, this is like the opposite of that obsession, fixation, Capricorn, goal-oriented, target-locked, you know, locking on target energy. With the Devil, it's like locked and loaded and just pressing forward, overcoming all obstacles, unstoppable force with this Taurus energy next to it, just like so entirely dogmatically fixed and focused. And I just get a really obsessed energy here, just totally focused on whatever that disappointment was, right? And so you lay down the sword and you come to acceptance. You go through the entire grieving process of, you know, depression and bargaining and anger, and I don't remember the exact order, but you know what I'm referring to. You go through all the motions of your feelings and you come to a place where you're okay. Actually, you can be at peace within yourself, knowing what it is you know now, the lesson you learned, that everything happens for a reason, or that it was the way that it went down was for the best, actually. And you know what? You're doing okay. You survived and you're all right. And you've changed. You're not exactly the same person you were before. You're more mature now, a little wiser, a little older, a little wiser. But it doesn't stress you out the way that it used to, and you're okay. You've come to a good place in your life. In fact, there's a lot of good things going for you. a lot to be happy about in your personal life. You've found a sense of satisfaction within yourself, by yourself, for yourself, that doesn't depend on other people and what they choose to do or how they see you. And that feels great. There's a sense of strength and like maturity and stability. Emotional stability comes from that sort of independence. You care. It's not that you don't care, but you don't care. Like you're not upset over it. Like you don't care like you used to. You care in a different way now. The way that you care now is healthier than the way that you used to care. The way that you used to express your loving, caring energy may have been, for some of you, not all, but may have been coming from a place of anxiety rather than a place of fulfillment. And now that you've learned something about personal fulfillment and how it comes from a sense of peace of mind within yourself and independence and maturity and all of that, now you can show up to a relationship and share that energy equally with somebody else who's gone through a similar healing process. Like they've learned lessons, they've grown up, they're not a kid, they've been around the block, they have experiences, they're seasoned. You know, that I'm getting that energy from this reading. Just, you know, somebody who, like you, is disillusioned, but also satisfied within themselves. And you're not angry at the world just because you went through something. You know, you found a way to be at peace within yourself. It doesn't make it right, whatever happened. It doesn't make it right, but you're okay. It's not okay what they did or what happened, but you're okay. And you're going to be okay. In fact, you're doing great. Actually, you've been working really hard on something. And you're coming to a place of personal fulfillment, maturity, and dare I say happiness that you'll be able to share in a positive relationship, perhaps with somebody new or whoever. But it's not going to be this like intense, obsessive, compulsive sort of like devotion to a conventional way of approaching a relationship or something. I get that there were also a lot of secrets. There was something taboo going on here. Some kind of like forbidden knowledge or forbidden fruit or like forbidden temptation. There was temptation. Yeah, that could have been part of it. I mean, you're tempted by the drug that you are addicted to. You're tempted by the whatever it is. And maybe you're tempted by power, tempted by money, and you're willing to do just about anything to get it. And maybe you can be at peace with yourself, with your own past, or with what other people may have done to get what they wanted, what they felt they needed. Yeah. Oh, victory comes from spending this time alone in introspection, this creative breakthrough for yourself. Yes. The Hermit, the Judgment. Yes. So this is an awakening, a spiritual awakening, a realizing the truth of a situation. It's also like rising up from the dead like a phoenix, and it's getting another chance to do something and like living your next chapter after the end of a very difficult situation. You realize it's over and finally you're going to get closure on this. The next card in the deck after Judgment is the Universe, which is that closure, the end and the new beginning coming full circle. But this is really good for your spiritual and emotional and psychological and physical health and development, and like your relationships too. Because when you have that inner peace and you're satisfied with yourself and you can show up and give that energy in a relationship, and you don't need the other person for validation or for literally anything really, but you can build together and appreciate and love each other because you love yourself, like that whole thing, that's huge. That's the breakthrough. that's what comes from this, knowing yourself, spending time alone in introspection. Four of Swords and the Hermit card here. Somebody needs to spend time alone, or you've been spending time alone, or you've been single, or even if you're not single, you're like making time for yourself to do the inner work of spiritual and emotional development and character development, really personal growth, because I feel like I'm talking to somebody who's been through a lot in their life, and this is you escaping that like pit of despair. This is you escaping the pit of despair and building a tree house and living your best life, or you know what I mean, like rising up. You were, for some people, it's like you had less than ground zero. Like you were in a pit underneath the earth in the dark, and you had to like crawl and climb your way out, and maybe there may have been help along the way, or you may have found like roots or a ladder to, you know what I mean? There could have been some things along the way that gave you some advantage and some skills, and something helped you get up out of the pit. But I think a lot of it was you and your own work and your own hard, focused dedication to climb up out of the pit for yourself. And this is you spending 1,000 years in a pit and climbing up and out and coming up into the daylight, and that realization that you are finally free of whatever this restrictive, terrible situation, disappointing situation. It really hurt. Like this is emotional pain and challenging emotional, yeah, like challenge. Oh, I've also got 555 here. I've got 9 and 9. Anyway, yeah, very challenging emotions, very painful, but this was, in a way, I don't want to say it was good for your spiritual growth, because I don't think pain is, I think it can disfigure us as well as shape and mold us to be better. It can shape and mold us to be a lot worse too. I think this comes with acceptance of the shadow side, accepting the darkness and living with it and loving your own darkness. It's not overcoming the darkness. You're not even really leaving it behind. You will carry this with you. Your experiences have shaped you, but I see you going from experiencing this like disfigurement shape of being in a lot of pain to growing through it and continuing to evolve and add more layers onto your life, and more years and more decades onto your life, and more experiences, positive experiences that will help you grow and flower in a whole new beautiful way. So I love that. I love that so much. That's where I'm going to leave it, I think. Yeah, I just get this sort of rising out of a pit, like buried alive and digging your way out and coming up to the surface and being so strong, and it was so hard and you had to be so strong, but you did it. And now you get to experience the next chapter in your life, which may have challenges and pitfalls of their own, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as hard, and you're going to be so strong to handle anything. And there's this such a deep sense of inner peace and calm and satisfaction, and like there's this victory, there's this success. You're very, very happy with yourself, and you get a lot of recognition and a lot of support for this, and you end up being able to bring that momentum, that energy, that creative breakthrough into whatever partnerships that you become involved in, whatever you become devoted to, because that powerful, ambitious, even obsessed, targeted focus can be so powerful at work and make you so successful if it's pointed in the right direction with the right intentions. Yes, absolutely. That's how we get mountain ranges in the first place. You get the tectonic plates under the earth, right? Fire of earth, that's Capricorn. And they are all like crashing into each other, and they grow and make mountain ranges. And those are beautiful and amazing. And not a lot of animals can climb to the top, but the goat can. Okay, So that's what I've got for you today, Aries. That's what I'm going to leave it at. I love this reading for you. I hope this resonated, of course. If you enjoyed this and you'd like a personal reading, my email's in the description box below. You can email me, and I'm still offering readings for $25, which I think is pretty good. But in any case, I want to say thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one, okay? Bye.